Sam Thompson stood across the street from his diner, watching the bustling world go by. It was a typical sunny afternoon in the small town of Maplewood, where he had built his establishment, Sam's Diner, from the ground up over the last 20 years. Known for its hearty burgers, freshly brewed coffee, and welcoming atmosphere, the diner had become a beloved fixture in the community. Yet today, as he peered through the large glass windows, he felt like a stranger in his own place. Whispers had reached his ears recently, rumors and complaints from loyal customers about the service. Something isn't right, they'd said. Some customers get treated better than others. Sam couldn't bear the thought that his hard-working staff might be neglecting anyone, especially those who came in looking less affluent. Determined to get to the bottom of this, he decided to take matters into his own hands. That night, Sam would not enter as the owner, he would disguise himself as a nobody. He dressed in worn jeans, a ragged flannel shirt, and an old coat that had seen better days. With tousled hair and a scruffy beard, he looked nothing like the respected businessman the town knew. He took a deep breath, feeling an unfamiliar sense of hesitation as he approached the diner. Would they recognize him? Would they treat him differently? Pushing open the door, Sam was greeted by the familiar scent of grilled food and coffee. Normally, it would fill him with warmth, but tonight, there was an unsettling chill in the air. The hostess, a young woman named Tara, glanced up from her phone with a wrinkled nose. "Can I help you?" she asked, her tone lacking warmth. "I'm just looking for a bite to eat," Sam replied, trying to sound casual. Tara's eyes roamed over his shabby appearance, and he could see the judgment forming in her mind before she even spoke. "We don't really have free meals here, sir," she said, her voice dripping with condescension. Sam blinked in surprise. "I didn't ask for a free meal." "I have money," he said evenly. She hesitated, then sighed. "Fine, but we're kind of full. You'll have to sit in the back." Without checking the seating chart, she led him toward a dim corner table near the kitchen doors. Sam felt a slow simmer of anger but forced himself to remain calm. He needed to see how deep this problem went. Minutes passed before a waitress finally approached. Her name tag read, Jessica, and she seemed disinterested as she asked, "What do you want?" Sam glanced at the menu, pretending to think. "Coffee and a burger, please." Jessica sighed dramatically, treating him like a burden. "Whatever. It'll take a while." He watched as she bounced over to a table filled with well-dressed businessmen, her demeanor transforming completely as she greeted them with a bright smile. The disparity in treatment was glaring. The businessmen received their drinks within minutes, while Sam's coffee took 10. When his food finally arrived, it was lukewarm and poorly prepared. The burger was dry, the fries limp. He cut into it slowly, observing the other tables around him. The businessmen's meals were perfectly plated, while his looked like it had come from a different kitchen. Maggie, an elderly regular, noticed the difference too. "Why does his food look so different?" she asked Jessica as she passed by. "It's fine," Jessica replied dismissively. Maggie wasn't convinced. She approached Sam's table, concern etched on her face. "Excuse me, sir. Is everything all right?" Sam shrugged, still playing his role. "Just hungry, ma'am." Maggie's eyes narrowed as she looked at his plate. She knew something was wrong. "Stay here," she muttered, marching toward the manager's office. Jessica returned to the businessman's table, laughing and chatting, while Sam seated quietly. He had seen enough. Wiping his mouth with a napkin, he stood up and walked toward the front of the diner. "Hey, where are you going?" Jessica called, annoyance in her tone. Ignoring her, Sam removed his beanie, running a hand through his unkempt hair and wiping the grime from his face. Gasps filled the diner as recognition dawned on the patrons. "Sam Thompson," someone exclaimed. The diners fell silent, every eye fixed on him. Jessica's face went pale, and Tara gulped audibly. The manager, Mark, stepped out of his office, stunned to see the owner standing there, clearly displeased. Without raising his voice, Sam spoke, his tone sharp yet steady. "Is this how you run my diner when I'm not around?" Jessica's lips trembled as she struggled to find words. Mark stepped forward, trying to regain composure. Mr. Thompson, this is a misunderstanding." Sam raised a hand to silence him. "Stop. I don't want excuses." The weight of disappointment hung thick in the air as Sam scanned the faces of his employees. Some avoided his gaze, others looked ashamed, but a few bore expressions of annoyance, as if they were irritated at being caught. "I thought Sam's Diner was a place where everyone is treated with respect," he continued. "But tonight, I witnessed blatant discrimination. A homeless-looking man walked in and was treated like garbage. You seated him in the back, served him cold food, and spoke to him like he was a burden." The silence deepened, and Sam inhaled deeply, forcing himself to remain calm. He didn't want to react in anger, he wanted to understand how it had come to this. Jessica finally found her voice. "Mr. Thompson, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just busy, and you came in looking, well, like that." "Looking like what?" Sam asked, his voice eerily calm. "Like a homeless person," she stammered, realizing too late that she had dug her own grave. Sam turned to the rest of the employees. "How many of you would have spoken up if Maggie hadn't intervened?" Silence ensued. A few employees lowered their heads, while one young waiter, Liam, straightened up and spoke. "I didn't think it was right, sir. I just didn't know what to do." Sam acknowledged Liam's honesty with a nod. "But the rest of you stood by and watched a paying customer get treated like dirt. Why?" No one answered. Jessica shifted nervously. "I swear I didn't mean." "I don't need apologies," Sam cut her off. "I need to fix what's broken." He turned to Mark. "You were supposed to lead by example." "Let's be reasonable," Mark began, but Sam shook his head. "You're done here," he said simply. Mark's face fell. "Wait, Sam, let's talk about this." "There's nothing to discuss. Get your things and leave." Jessica gasped, tears welling in her eyes, but she didn't argue. She knew she had messed up. Mark shot her an angry glance as he walked out, and the remaining employees stood in stunned silence. Sam turned to Liam. "You'll be acting manager from now on." Liam's eyes widened in disbelief. "Me?" "Yes, because you showed integrity tonight," Sam replied. "Tomorrow, this diner starts fresh." The next morning, Sam's diner felt different. Customers filled the booths, but there was a new sense of tension in the air, a mix of curiosity and uncertainty. News of the previous night's events had spread throughout the town, and people were eager to see how Sam would handle the changes. As Sam sat in his usual booth, he overheard customers talking. "I can't believe it. Was this happening the whole time?" one woman said. "It's a good thing Sam caught it before it got worse." He felt a mix of pride and disappointment wash over him. The truth was, this problem had been growing under his nose for too long. Sam's Diner wasn't just a business, it was a community, and it needed to reflect that. Later that afternoon, Maggie, the kind elderly woman, walked in, carrying a pie. "You look like a man with a lot on his mind," she said, sliding into the booth across from him. "That obvious?" Sam chuckled. "Oh, honey, I've lived long enough to recognize the look of a man realizing his house isn't as clean as he thought it was." She pulled out a homemade apple pie and slid it toward him. A little reminder that even when things get messy, there are still good people around. Sam took a bite, the warmth and sweetness filling him with comfort. He knew exactly what he had to do. Later that evening, he made calls to hire new staff and bring in trusted individuals. He even reached out to a local charity program that trained struggling individuals for job opportunities. As the diner began to rebuild, some older employees resisted the changes. Beth, one of the waitresses who had been critical of Sam, grumbled about the new hires. Sam overheard her complaints and confronted her directly. "If you don't believe in what I'm doing here, you're free to leave," he said firmly. Beth's face turned red, but she remained silent. Sam continued, "This diner is going to be different. It's not just about serving food, it's about treating people like they matter. If you don't understand that, then I don't need you here." Despite the challenges, the diner began to thrive again. Liam took his role seriously, ensuring every customer received equal treatment. Maggie frequently checked in, like a proud mother. For the first time in years, Sam's diner felt like home again. However, Sam knew that trouble was never far behind. One evening, as he was closing up, he overheard Beth talking to two other disgruntled employees. They were plotting to sabotage the diner, frustrated by the changes. Sam's heart sank as he realized they were determined to undermine his efforts. The following days were tough. Orders went missing, and customers began to complain. Sam remained vigilant, watching and listening. Then, Maggie approached him with startling news. She had overheard Beth and her cohorts discussing their plans at the grocery store. With this information, Sam set a trap. He installed hidden cameras and monitored the kitchen closely. Within days, he captured footage of Beth and her crew swapping out fresh ingredients for expired ones, deliberately messing up orders. Armed with evidence, Sam called a meeting with his loyal staff. When he revealed the footage, Beth's bravado crumbled. Sam fired her on the spot, along with her accomplices, and made it clear that this was their last chance. From that moment on, Sam's diner began to flourish. With the troublemakers gone, the atmosphere lightened, and customers returned. Sam felt a renewed sense of hope as he watched his diner transform back into a place of community and respect. In the end, Sam Thompson learned that loyalty and integrity mattered more than anything. His diner was not just a business, it was a home for everyone who walked through its doors. And with each passing day, Sam realized that he had succeeded in creating a place where everyone was treated with dignity, a true reflection of his vision for Sam's diner.